Welcome to Scottish Heritage Party Television. This is our very first program coming out to you today from the Scottish Heritage Party television studio. And we want you to know that we are a party determined to win, not to be on the periphery. And I believe we have been given vision and virtue to be able to take our nation back into its original heritage. We are going to cover in this series of programs our precious Constitution. Now, our Constitution is based around the monarchy. This is a fact, not a political discussion. It is also a fact that this year we are facing a coronation, an event which is very rare in our history, but vitally important, which is why we as a party, in being called the Scottish Heritage Party, are determined to bring this information to the people. A party bringing facts more than political opinion. Where we bring opinion, we will say so. Where we bring facts, we will say so. And our fact number one today is this: the United Kingdom is a nation that has at its very root its Judeo-Christian heritage. This comes out in its Coronation Service, which is based on the coronation of King Solomon, of Nathan the prophet, and the Zadok Priesthood. And over these series of programs, we will be identifying the key points in the Coronation Service. Not only that, the constitutional acts around it, such as the 1534 Act of Supremacy, restored in 1559, and so forth. So let's get into this incredible coronation service, which we have heard they are trying to change. Indeed, there are problems in relation to King Charles becoming king at the coronation service, and we will be dealing with those issues step by step. As I originally said, we will be letting you know which is political opinion and which is fact. And it is a fact that there has never been a coronation of a divorcee. This is going to be a major issue this year, and the Scottish Heritage Party is going to be a party which is going to be very vociferous in relation to establishing the facts, the constitutional standards, and also how they relate to government. I have here a copy going back to 1953 of the Coronation Service. This has been written around certain factors. First of all, we must remember the head of state is not the Prime Minister. The head of state is the monarch, who not only is head of state, but also head of the national church in England. And this is a crucial point when it comes to understanding the whole nature of how we operate as a country. And these facts are not being taught in our schools. We believe there has to be major investment in bringing to our children, to our students, an understanding of our history. No more will there be the cancel culture, because without understanding foundations, a nation will fall down. It is that important. So please hear, get your ears wide open for this fascinating study of our coronation service. Now, naturally, it should begin, there we have it, it should begin with the preparation. And this is written so small, I had to get my magnifying glass to read it to you. And these are the instructions to the preparation. In the morning, upon the day of the coronation, early, care is to be taken that the ampulla will be going into what these elements are during our series of programs. Be filled with the oil for the anointing, and together with the spoon be laid ready upon the altar in the Abbey Church. The litany shall be sung as the Dean and Prebendaries and the choir of Westminster proceed from the altar to the west door of the church. The Archbishop being already vested in their copes and mitre, the bishop's assistants in their copes, the procession shall be formed immediately outside of the west door of the church, and shall wait till notice to be given of the approach of Her Majesty, as indeed, of course, it was in 1953, and shall then begin to move into the church. And the people shall remain standing from the entrance unto the beginning of the communion service. So there's elements being prepared here. And this is why I believe our party is quite unique in the political sphere. We are a party of family values. We are a party of virtue, and we will be discovering in this series of programs what virtue actually is. We are also a party of vision. David Curtin bringing this party together with a vision, not to be like the rest of them playing political games, but restoring the very heart. And heart is a key word in understanding virtue and vision. Restoring the very heart of our nation, for without that we will be a nation gone under. So look forward to these programs coming up week after week on our precious Constitution. Let's establish a fact at this point, another fact. Our Constitution is written So many say it is an unwritten constitution. What they're talking about is around the parliament, because there cannot be a written constitution around the parliament, because the parliament is in fact not the head of state. The head of state is a monarch, so that monarch has the constitutional acts around him or her. Please understand this important fact when it comes to the coronation service. We then have the entrance into the church. Now, this service is quite long, and it should not be reduced in relation to the coming coronation this year, 2023. So we are going to cover this coronation service in detail week after week. We now begin, having had the preparation, with the entrance into the church. The Queen, as it was in 1953, as soon as she enters at the west door of the church, is to be received with the anthem. This is the anthem. I was glad when they said unto me, we shall go into the house of the Lord. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem is built as a city that is at unity in itself. So unity is coming right at the beginning of this coronation service, as is our Judeo-Christian heritage. Now let me speak a few moments to people of other faiths or of no faith whatsoever. This service, although it be of Judeo-Christian heritage, gives us the freedom. You know, the Bible says, choose ye this day whom ye will serve. There is choice in our nation. And what we argue in the Heritage Party is that that choice is being undermined, that unless you go under a certain form of woke ideology, then you are cancelled, you are put away. Well, let me tell you this. It is time for our nation to rise up and say no to that form of totalitarianism and say yes to freedom. And this freedom can only come when we bring understanding to our very Constitution, which has at its very heart freedom. Freedom is what we are fighting for in the Heritage Party all over the UK. And in Scotland, the Scottish Heritage Party is saying no to the totalitarian ideologies of woke, is saying no to the totalitarian authorities of a global elite, for we do not believe that the Scottish independence lobby is indeed all about Scottish independence. So why would Nicola Sturgeon be so keen on rejoining the EU, be part of a totalitarian global order? That is not independence. We in the Heritage Party believe in true nationalism, of a nationalistic Scotland operating right in the heart of a nationalistic United Kingdom, because we, as Michael Portillo has recently said, he said this: even though I am of Spanish origin, I have a UK passport, I have a Spanish passport, but I was always against being part of the EU because of the different histories and heritages of the individual nations in Europe. We want to love our neighbors, but not necessarily be married to them. We can trade with them, be friends with them, talk with them, but we should not come under foreign law. And that is in the coronation oath, which is coming up. The Queen promised to protect us from foreign infiltration into our legal systems, yet it did not happen under the years in the EU. And in Scotland, we have an SNP wanting to put us under the claws of foreign government, when we in the Scottish Heritage Party say no. We will be a nationalistic Scotland, but a nationalistic Scotland part of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and we are to establish that freedom. That's why a vote for us is a vote for freedom, is a vote for family values, is a vote for nation, upholding what the Queen promised in 1953 and making a stand that this coronation service should not be changed in the name of woke ideology. You see, we are in a great battle, folks, and we want you to join our party. Come and join us in this great battle. We know we are going to win. We cannot afford to lose. The heritage is being undermined. The history of our nation is being undermined. The future of our children and our grandchildren is under threat. And unless we come together and make a stand behind our precious Constitution, we will be a nation gone under. Come and join us today. The details are there beneath me. Come and join us today. So the anthem is being sung. I was glad when they said unto me, we will go into the house of the Lord. Our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is built as a city that is at unity in itself. O pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within thy walls, and plenteousness within thy palaces. We are being told continuously a policy of lack. We have not used our God-given resources. Underneath the ground, there is plenty of natural gas in our country. In the North Sea, off the shores of Scotland, there is plenty of natural gas and oil, which can be used in an environmentally friendly way. All over the country, people are struggling with their energy bills. We can put a stop to that if only we take heed of our Constitution and recognize that there is a policy here of plenteousness if only we use our God-given resources. Then we are told in this service what then happens. The Queen shall in the meantime pass through the body of the church, into and through the choir, and so up the stairs to the theatre. And having passed by the throne, she will make her humble adoration, and then kneeling at the fold stool set for her before her chair of estate on the south side of the altar, use some short private prayers, and after sit down in her chair. The Bible, paten, and chalice shall meanwhile be brought by the bishops who have borne them and placed upon the altar. Then the lords who carry in possession the regalia, except those who carry the sword, shall come from their places and present in order everyone, and in preparation for what is to come, which is the recognition and the oath. And it's the recognition and the oath we are going to come to next time in our Precious Constitution program. We are going out. We have 3 programs each week now scheduled. The Lindsay Tartan Politics Show is coming up this very week. You wait for this. My wife Lindsay is ready. She's a Scot of the Anderson clan. She is ready to take on Nicola Sturgeon. Let me tell you, she comes from Viking stock and is ready to go, and it's coming later this week. And then at the end of the week, I'll be presenting our Scotland This Week program. I thank you for joining us today. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to be able to speak to you on our very first program of Scottish Heritage Party TV. Thank you so much. Contact us. The details are coming up on your screen right now. We'll see you next time on our Precious Constitution for the recognition and the oath itself. Get ready. Join us in the Scottish Heritage Party.